Hey, Kevin, can you just kind of take us through um, the liver injury? I mean, it's such an unusual thing, and if you knew right away, and what are you thinking when you have to be taken to the hospital?
Right. Yeah. It was definitely a unusual situation. I was just defending a pass in practice from a tight end in the red zone, and we were both extended in the air, and then he just kind of like we twisted up in the air, and he kind of just landed right on top of me onto my ribs, and when the injury happened, I just thought that I got the wind knocked out of me really really bad. But then it felt like a little bit different than that. Like I've had the wind knocked out of me plenty of times in my career. So it just felt a little different from that. Then we got checked out, and then turns out I lacerated my liver.
I mean, I've never even heard the term lacerated liver. So, like, what are you thinking when the doctor says that? Are you worried that they're going to have to do surgery? You're done? I mean, like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what. I was thinking a lot of things were going into my head, but I just was hoping for the best. I was hoping that I wasn't gonna have to get surgery, hoping that it wasn't, too serious. I was really upset when I heard the news, just because it sounded kind of bad. But I'm definitely excited to that's passed, and I feel good.
Zach Jackson, you're up.
Hey, Kevin, I'm just curious, how long was it before you had a timetable here? Because we didn't know. And,
Right.
So just what was the uncertainty like of the last few weeks?
It was uncertainty, like when I lacerated my liver, I stayed in the hospital for about two nights, just to make sure that I wasn't internally bleeding. And once all that cleared up and they saw that I wasn't bleeding inside of my body, that was a good thing. And then the next week I got another checkup, and it just kind of went from there, from checkup to checkup to checkup. And then once I hit about kind of 3 weeks in, it was really healing pretty fast. So that was real good news. And then we were just hoping that it just stayed on the same course.
Thank you, Zach. Marla Ridnour, you're up.
Yeah, great to see you, Kevin.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When you're laying there in the hospital, though, the first night, I mean, you had to be scared to death. I mean, what was going through your mind? How hard was that?
It was pretty hard. I wasn't necessarily scared. I was more so wanted to play. So I would say that was the biggest, I was so upset about that just because I couldn't believe that it was such a random, injury. It wasn't like I went out there and, pulled my hamstring or something like that. It was like, I didn't really know, like, wow, I lacerated my liver. So I was pretty upset. I was pissed off more than anything. But then, as the time, like I said, went on, I was realizing that, it wasn't too bad and I was healing pretty quick. I was pretty excited about that, and looking forward for it to get better.
Do you have a lot of people praying for you, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate all those prayers that people sent my way.
Nate Orrick, you're up.
Kevin, when we talked to you early in camp, you had discussed injuries you had suffered previously in your career and how those made you mentally tougher.
Yeah.
How much do you think that really helped you get through this experience?
It definitely helped a lot. Just, I faced adversity like this before in my career, so it wasn't a new place for me to be in. I knew the world wasn't over, when it happened, and I was figuring out more and more about the injury. I knew it wasn't the end of the world. So it definitely helped me prepare myself for, the next upcoming weeks, getting ready to play, just sitting out. It's tough when you're hurt, when you're just sitting out watching. So that definitely helped prepare me for those past 5 weeks.
And then also when we talked to you, you were having an incredible camp. Mm-hmm. Did you feel that way? And
you broke up a little bit. What were you saying?
When we talked to you back then, you were having an incredible camp.
Mm-hmm.
Feel that way? Did you feel you were really happy?
Yeah. I felt like I was having a pretty good camp, man, and it was just beginning. So that was definitely a big part of the reason why I was probably very upset about the injury. But it is what it is. It's all part of football, and it's part of the game. I'm sitting here counting my blessings. Yesterday, watching the game, seeing a lot of players having some big time injuries just yesterday during the game. So I feel blessed that I'm able to be back out there and practice.
Tony Grossi will have our next question.
Hey, Kevin, for those of us who have not had the misfortune of suffering a lacerated kidney, is it pain or discomfort that you feel?
It was discomfort. It was just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was very uncomfortable. I just like I said, I couldn't really breathe. I couldn't really breathe. And it was long. It was like kind of a long time where I was kind of just trying to get my breath back to normal. And then my stomach felt like full. And that was kind of felt like I drank a lot of water or something like that. And then I was just like, yeah, something's kind of up with something's going on inside of my body or something like that. I thought I cracked a rib or something, which I had never done before. So I just felt something was a little off.
Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Mary Kay Cabot.
Hey, Kevin, can you just address the fact that, you guys headed into this season with so much excitement about you and Grant Delpit and Grady Williams and, these first two games, they were without all three of you guys. And of course, we know Grant's out for the whole entire season. Could you believe that way that all went down, that all of a sudden your defensive backfield, you guys were kind of dropping like flies there?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, and especially just with all the COVID stuff going on. It was just like we haven't played football in so long. Then we hop out there, and then one guy goes down, next guy goes down, next guy goes down. So it was just like it was just kind of a whirlwind of like what just happened, And then next thing you know, you blink and here I am right now. So. Like I said, I'm excited to be back. I feel blessed to be back and healthy. And I'm so excited to be a part of this team and getting to work, continuing to work.
So do you feel like you and Greedy coming back, I mean, how big of a boost is that going to be for you guys in the back end there?
I mean, we were just talking about like when we get back, like we gotta bring that energy and really try and be the best we can be to help our team in any way we can. So I definitely say we're licking our chops to get back out there on that field.
We'll take two more, Scott Petrick and Tom Withers. Scott Petrick, your line is open.
Hey, Kevin, because it's such an unusual injury and it's internal, are you worried about getting back on the field that something might cause it to lacerate again?
No. And that's the one thing that just going through the process that all the doctors inform me is that once the wound is healed up, it's healed up. It's not like a hamstring that lingers or, any type of injury that lingers on. So my liver is healed up 100% and I feel normal. So I feel like I did right before I injured it.
So is Sunday in play? Do you think you can play Sunday?
All that stuff is up to the coaches, but you'll have to ask coach about that.
Okay.
And final one for Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. So glad you're back, man. Hey, any extra padding or anything will you have to wear as protection?
No, nothing.
Hey, and then in terms of, you even talked about it before, the rash of injuries around the league yesterday. You've been in the league long enough. Do you think the lack of the offseason has anything to do with this? And does this not bode well then for the rest of the year?
It's hard to make. It's hard to say. I don't think so. I think that a lot of the injuries I saw were just kind of freak injuries. Like, I saw one DB on the Ravens. He was defending a pass and his leg got hit while he was in the air and landed on it awkwardly. I didn't see, Saquon Barkley or Joey Bosa's, but, it's just the game of football. And, sometimes, unfortunately, a lot of just crazy stuff happens out there, like me lacerating my liver, you would think how, but, those things tend to happen on the football field. And it's just a matter of, being preparing yourself the best way you can and going out there and taking advantage of your opportunities.